House of Candia, Cult of Mars, World Crime Corporation by Yahweh Zeus, narrated by Diane St. Laurent. The Mars family are worth over $70 billion and are a top criminal bloodline in the United States, and they own one of the largest candy companies in the world. They are one of the most evil families in the U.S. They are leaders of the Cult of Mars, which is a murderous militant cult. John Franklin Mars was knighted by the House of Windsor and serves the British Crown. Queen Elizabeth II visited the Mars candy factory. Prince Harry is a top member of the Cult of Mars. They add slow-acting poisons and chemicals into their candy as a form of chemical warfare on society, also known as alchemy. Artificial flavors and colors can cause diseases. They oppress humanity so it is easier to control society. They use their large amount of wealth to conceal criminal transactions used for funding Nazi-style persecution carried out by secret societies. The modernized concept of Halloween and trick-or-treating was established in 1911, the same year that Mars Candy Company was established. The Mars family were the Candia family of Venice, which ruled the Kingdom of Candia, located on the island of Crete, during the height of the Venetian Republic. Kydonia was a state during the Kingdom of Candia, and is the name of a region on the planet Mars. The Venetians were merchants involved with the sugar trade. An Italian word for candy is candido. The ancient mystery schools covertly taught witchcraft and alchemy, and these schools were maintained on the islands of Crete, Malta, and Rhodes. The Candia family served the House of Savoy and governed territories for them. Stephen Badger's mother is Jacqueline Mars. The Rothschild family's first bank was really called Mayer Amschel Rothschild & Sons, an acronym for Mars, and the name Rothschild means red shield. The Thurn and Taxi family originated in northern Italy, and their name Taxi is from Tasso in Italian, or Taxus in Latin, which means badger. The Badger family are relatives of the Taxi-Tasso family and anglicized their name. Prince Carlo Alessandro della Torre and Tasso, the third Duke of Castel Duino, and his children, Prince Dimitri, Prince Maximilian, and Princess Constanza, are Italian members of this family today, and they reside in Trieste, not far from Venice. Prince Albert, the 12th Prince of Thurn and Taxi, is a billionaire and German member of the Taxi-Tasso Badger family. Other members of the Thurn and Taxi family include Prince Max Emanuel of Thurn and Taxi, the extremely evil witch Princess Gloria of Thurn and Taxi, and her wicked daughters, Princess Maria Theresia of Thurn and Taxi, and Princess Elizabeth von Thurn and Taxi. The German Flick family of billionaires are related to the Thurn and Taxi family of Prince Fritz of Thurn and Taxi, is another member and a member of the Austrian media. The Mars family still work with the Savoy family today and are involved with Swiss money laundering and criminally financing groups like Freemasons and Knights of Columbus, which are involved in gang stalking and persecution. The Mars family financed the Knights of Columbus, Aryan Brotherhood, Hells Angels, and Kabbalah Society. Members of the Mars crime family include John Franklin Mars, Victoria Mars, Jacqueline Mars, Michael John Mars, Marietje Elizabeth Mars, Valerie Mars, Pamela Mars Wright, and the very sadistic Stephen Badger. The Mars, Torrey and Tasso, and Thurn and Taxi families are totally ruthless and destructive. The Mars family has a high authority like royalty inside the United States. Mars was the Roman deity of war. Stephen Badger is a sadistic child murderer and an alchemical tormentor that thinks he is a supervillain. Stephen Badger is a child molester and a child murderer. This devil needs to be killed. Definition of badger: to harass or annoy persistently. Mars Candy heir Stephen Badger clunks down $15 million on an ultra-private compound. Thurn and taxi coat of arms with a badger. Jacqueline Mars married David Badger. The Mars family are descendants of the North Italian House of Candia, and the Badger family are descendants of the North Italian Torri and Tasso family, which created the German branch called Thurn and Taxi. Jacqueline Mars is worth about $26 billion. She is a high-level authority in the United States, and she finances gang stalking and child sacrifices to satanic cults. She is extremely evil, and she murders and tortures children. Mars family, 2016, America's richest families, net worth $78 billion. The Mars siblings, Jacqueline, pictured above, and John, and the heirs of their brother, Forrest Jr., who died in July 2016, own Mars Incorporated, one of the world's largest and most secretive candy companies, with $33 billion in sales. The siblings, who have no daily role, inherited the company in 1999 when their father, Forrest Sr., died. Their grandfather, Frank, began selling candy from his Tacoma, Washington kitchen in 1911. Their father joined the company in 1929, around the same time the company invented the malt-flavored nougat that became the basis of the Milky Way and Snickers. Later, the company invented M&Ms, over 400 million of which are produced in the U.S. each day. Mars also makes Uncle Ben's rice and owns pet food brands Pedigree and Whiskas. In March 2016, Mars announced it endorses limitations on added sugar in its products and supports U.S. government efforts to include added sugars in food labeling. Jacqueline is a trustee of the U.S. Equestrian Team and sits on the board of directors of the National Sporting Library and Fine Art Museum. Her son, Stephen Badger, serves on the Mars Incorporated board of directors. Victoria Mars, the eldest daughter of the late Forrest Jr., is chairman of the board of directors of Mars Incorporated. John Franklin Mars being knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, the Mars family worked for the House of Windsor, House of Savoy, and Massimo family of Rome. John Mars is worth about $28 billion. De Candia, de Candie is an ancient noble family of Savoy. Venice played a major role in reopening the Mediterranean economy to West European commerce and developing links with Northern Europe. It created an institutional basis for commercial capitalism, made major progress in shipping technology, and helped transfer Asian and Egyptian technology in cane sugar production and processing, silk textiles, glass blowing, and jewelry to the West. The realm of Kingdom of Candia, or Duchy of Candia, was the official name of Crete during the island's period as an overseas colony of the Republic of Venice. Kydonia was an ancient city-state on the northwest coast of the island of Crete. It is at the site of the modern-day Greek city of Chania. Kydonia is a region on the planet Mars that has attracted both scientific and popular interest. Queen Elizabeth II at the Mars Candy Factory. The Mars family, working with the European royals, created modern Halloween. A brief history of Halloween. The holiday wasn't really celebrated outside of ethnic enclaves until the 20th century. In fact, the first documented act of guising in the Americas isn't until 1911, and that was in Ontario, Canada. In 1911, Frank C. Mars made the first Mars candies in his Tacoma, Washington kitchen and established Mars' first roots as a confectionery company. Mars is known as the Red Planet. The number 3 is the actual number that represents Mars. Prince Harry is the top leader of the cult of Mars, or cult of Aries. Mars was the Roman deity of war. Aryans are really named after Aries and mean the children of Aries. Aryans generally have red hair. Prince Harry runs a massive online gang stalking cult which is organized through Reddit, and he also manages the Aryan Brotherhood, Irish Mafia, Hellfire Club, and the Albanians. Aries is the Greek god of war. The counterpart of Aries among the Roman gods is Mars. The etymology of the name Aries is traditionally connected with the Greek word Eri, the Ionic form of the Doric era, bane, ruin, curse, imprecation. The Aryan race is a racial grouping that emerged in the period of the late 19th century and mid-20th century to describe people of Indo-European heritage. Aryan has as its root a term that was used as a self-designation by Indo-Iranian people. Action Bronson, whose birth name is Aryan Arslani, is an Albanian Jewish Muslim rapper and a covert boss of the Albanians and Albanian boys in the United States, and he works under Prince Harry. Action Bronson is a militant tormentor. The Albanians are headquartered in London and have factions in the United States, and Action Bronson is a top member. Action Bronson was named Aryan because of his red hair. Aryan Arslani is their representative of Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras. Tuesday is named after Tu, a Norse deity equated with Mars. Aryan Arslani, born the 2nd of December 1983, better known by the stage name Action Bronson, is an American rapper, writer, chef, and talk show host. Bronson was born in Flushing, Queens, New York, to an Albanian Muslim father and an American Jewish mother. Growing up, he had been raised in his father's Muslim tradition. Albanians belong to the retail game of the cocaine trade. They are the street dealers and enforcers of the mafia, Shpiktar, the Albanian organized criminal syndicates who, the National Crime Agency believe, are consolidating power within the UK criminal underworld and on their way to a near total takeover of the UK's $5 billion cocaine market. Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesday, refers to events of the carnival celebration, beginning on or after the Christian feast of the Epiphany, Three Kings Day. In Germanic mythology, Tyr, Old Norse, Tu, Old English, and Zu, Old High German, is a god. The modern English weekday name Tuesday means Tuesday, referring to the Old English extension of the deity. All of these forms derive from a Proto-Germanic weekday name meaning Day of Tuas, itself a result of Interpretatio Germanica of Latin Zimaxis, meaning Day of Mars. This attests to an early Germanic identification of Tuas with Mars. Mars Candy advertisement promoting war. Victoria Mars is worth over $6 billion. Marichka Mars is worth over $6 billion. Valerie Mars is worth over $6 billion. Pamela Mars Wright is worth over $6 billion. Prince Albert of Thurn and Taxi is a psychotic military commander that drinks human blood. Prince Albert is worth over $1 billion. Albert von Thurn and Taxi, 2014 billionaires, net worth $1.6 billion. Although he first appeared on Forbes' billionaire list as an 8-year-old, Albert von Thurn and Taxi, the 12th prince in his family line, officially inherited his fortune in 2001 on his 18th birthday. In June 2008, he received an MA in Economics and Theology from the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. His assets include real estate, art, and 36,000 hectares of woodland in Germany, one of the largest forest holdings in Europe. An eligible bachelor, he lives in the family castle in Bavaria, Schloss Emmeram, and drives race cars, touring with the German League. Meanwhile, his mother, Gloria von Thurn and Taxi, manages the family fortune, appearing in photos taken at their castle. Society parties and noble weddings, Gloria, Albert, and his 2 sisters, Maria, Theresia, and Elizabeth, are no strangers to the paparazzi. The princely house of Thurn and Taxi is a family of German nobility that is part of the Briefadel, He was a key player in the postal services in Europe during the 16th century until the end of the Holy Roman Empire in 1806, and became well known as the owner of breweries and builder of many castles. The current head of the house is HSH Albert II, 12th Prince of Thurn and Taxi. The family is one of the wealthiest in Germany and has resided at St. Emmeram Castle in Regensburg since 1748. The Tasso family, from the Italian word for badger, was a Lombard family in the area of Bergamo. The name Thurn und Taxi arose from the translation into German of the family's French title, de la Tour et Taxi, or de Tour et Taxi. Several members of the family have been Knights of Malta. Princess Gloria of Thurn and Taxi and daughter Princess Maria Theresia of Thurn and Taxi. They are extremely evil witches that murder children and have sent me relentless death threats. Princess Gloria burns children alive. She ties up children in her palace basement and tortures them slowly to death as she cackles. This witch is one of the most evil beings on the planet, and she needs to be executed immediately. Thurn and Taxi, Palace in Bavaria, the home of the House of Thurn and Taxi. Princess Elizabeth von Thurn and Taxi is a hate-filled witch, and she manages a female gang stalker named Jessica Connors. Elizabeth von Thurn and Taxi, Vogue's editor-at-large, was at the center of a row on Instagram after posting a photograph of a homeless woman reading the magazine. Von Thurn und Taxi, who is descended from a wealthy and prestigious German family and was in Paris for Fashion Week, captured the picture. Paris is full of surprises, and at Vogue magazine readers even in unsuspected corners. Commenters describe the picture in the caption as tasteless, awful, and stupid, and Von Thurn und Taxi subsequently deleted the post. Princess Elizabeth von Thurn und Taxi, with her cousin Moritz Flick, whose great-grandfather was a Nazi, who used slave labor for his industrial empire. The Flicks are worth 6 to 9 billion. Frederick Karl Flick died in 2006. His fortune was estimated at 8.6 billion at the time. His nephew, Friedrich Christian Flick, Friedrich Flick's grandson, is an art collector with German-Swiss nationality. Moritz Flick and his brother, Alexander Flick, are high-level Nazi commanders of gang-stalking cults, and they are the first cousins of Prince Albert, Prince Elizabeth, and Princess Maria Theresa. The Flick family is a German family with an industrial empire that formerly embraced holdings in companies involved in coal, steel, and a minority holding in Daimler AG. Frederick Flick, 1883 to 1972, was the founder of the dynasty, establishing a major industrial conglomerate during the Weimar Republic. He was found guilty at the Flick trial, which formed part of the Nuremberg trials. During the Second World War, Flick's industrial enterprises used 48,000 forced laborers from Germany's concentration camps. Countess Maria Felicita von Schönberg-Glauchau, 15th of August 1958 to the 27th of January 2019, also known as Maya von Schönberg, was a German socialite. Maya was the sister of Count Karl Albin, Count Alexander, and Princess Gloria von Thurn und Taxi. In 1985, Countess von Schönberg-Glauchau married Friedrich Christian Flick, founder of the Friedrich Christian Flick Collection and heir to the Flick family fortune. They had 3 children, Friedrich Alexander, Maria Pilar, and Ernst Moritz. Prince Fritz of Thurn and Taxi, Prince Carlo Alessandro della Torre and Tasso, the 3rd Duke of Castel Duino. The Dukes of Castel Duino are a noble family in Italy, descending from the Bohemian line of the princely House of Thurn and Taxi. The title was created along with the additional title of Principe della Torre Tasso in 1923 for Prince Alexander of Thurn and Taxi, following his naturalization in Kingdom of Italy. The second Duke, Raimondo, married Princess Eugenie of Greece and Denmark, a member of the Greek royal family. The seat of the family in Duino Castle in Duino in the province of Trieste, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Prince Maximilian della Torre and Tasso is a manager and tactician for gang-stalking cults. Prince Dimitri della Torre and Tasso is an extremely evil commander of gang-stalking cults and a top member of the cult of Mars. The Torre and Tasso family own and live at Duino Castle. The Candia family had an extensive page on Wikipedia, which was completely removed and turned into one sentence. This is the original Wikipedia page of the House of Candia. Here are a few paragraphs of information removed from the House of Candia article on Wikipedia. The House of Candia, also called Candida in Latin, is a European dynastic house from the seat at the barony of Candy, and later through their union to the Hauteville or Alta Villa that traditionally had domains in Piedmont and the kingdoms of Italy. The first family unions and lands registry were recorded by the Prevosto of Ivrea in region to the fiefdoms of Candia Canavese and Candia Lomonellina, and then by the Prince Bishops of Geneva and their fort castle at Chambéry-le-Vieux under the name Château de Candy. There are also registries of properties and family unions in the Piedmont recorded by the Podesta of Ivrea of their fiefdom and castle in Candia Canavese and Lomellina under the name of Castrum Candian or Castello de Candia, today known as Castel Fiorito de Candia Canavese. They were and continue to be considered vassals of the head House of Savoy. Leonardo da Candia Pistoia, called Leonardo of Pistoia, was a monk dedicated to the study ancient Greek texts focused on Hermetism. In 1460 he brought the famous Corpus Hermeticum manuscript to the court of Cosimo de' Medici, ruler of Florence. The original text in Greek was translated by Marsilio Ficino into Latin, and in an Italian adaptation. The manuscript was considered a valuable work coming out of Alexandria at the beginning of the Christian era that combined Hellenic, Gnostic, Egyptian cosmology, and Judaic esoteric mysticism. The Mars family is an American family that owns the confectionery company Mars Incorporated, bearing their name. The family once was ranked as the richest family in the United States by Fortune magazine in 1988. It has since been surpassed by the Walton family and the Cook family, currently ranking as the third richest family in America as of 2016. The family is fiercely protective of their privacy. Cult of Mars. The cult of Mars is a military Sanhedrin ran by the Vatican Nobility from Campus Martius, or the Field of Mars in Rome. Mars is known as the god of war in Roman mythology, and there is a division of the cult of Mars in Russia known as the Marsovo Polye. March is named after Mars. Aries from Greek mythology is the same as Mars in Roman mythology. Aries is Eris. The Aries Zodiac begins on March 22nd, or the third month of 22nd day, and ends around the fourth month of the 20th day. The Skull and Bones Secret Society at Yale is a branch of the cult of Mars and uses the number 322 as its symbol. Skull and Bones is a military death cult ran by the Bush family, and that is why both George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. are members, and they caused the Gulf War, Afghanistan War, and Iraq War. During the Aries Zodiac, many massacres, explosions, and disasters occurred, along with other events, especially related to war and destruction. the Oklahoma City bombing, Waco Massacre, Columbine Massacre, NATO bombing of Yugoslavia, Happy Land Fire, Mont Blanc Tunnel Fire, Exxon Valdez oil spill, Deepwater Horizon Explosion, Capitol Hill Massacre in Seattle, Virginia Tech shooting, Boston bombings, West Fertilizer Company explosion, Sloterdijk Train Collision, 2014, Katanga Train Derailment, USAir Flight 405 crash, Germanwings Flight 9525 crash, and the Brussels bombings occurred during or right after the Aries Zodiac. Mars, the red planet, symbolizes fire, war, and anger. Holocaust means a holy burnt offering. The Aryan Nazis worship Aries. Military Auxiliary Radio System, or MARS, is a communications program developed by the Department of Defense which run drills and had one under the name Gotham Shield on April 24th, 25th of 2017, right at the end of the Aries Zodiac as preparation for an engineered EMP attack. Amateur Radio Emergency Service, or Aries, is an organization also involved in emergency communications and was involved in this drill. These two organizations are controlled by the cult of Mars. The Rothschilds' first bank was called Mayer Amschel Rothschild and Sons, which is an acronym for Mars. Mars is called the Red Planet. The name Rothschild means red shield, and they shield the Vatican, House of Windsor, and the cult of Mars. The Rothschild family and other Zio-Nazi clans like the Mars family, who are worth over 70 billion, practice Kabbalah, and use mass media, mind control, and food and drug chemical warfare as a weapon against humanity to guard the monarchs. David Mayer de Rothschild can be seen wearing the red string Kabbalah bracelet, which is a symbol for Mars, and the red Javara. Top members of the cult of Mars include Prince Stefano Massimo, Prince Carlo Massimo, Prince Harry Windsor, John Franklin Mars, Red Baron David René de Rothschild, David Mayer de Rothschild, and Evelyn de Rothschild.